Howdy Hexers, Infamous Neo here. Today, we're going to be taking a quick look at the other part of the Clash, the draft. Sealed is of course the main bulk of the event, but if you want to win big, you're going to have to brush up on your draft game too for the top 8. Card knowledge is key here as you have a limited time to pick your cards and build the best deck. Learning what cards do and how they interact with each other should be your first priority if you want to improve your draft skills. Our first lesson begins where every draft begins, with pack 1. We're going to talk about how you deal with the first pack and how you build a solid foundation for the rest of your draft. A good rule to follow in the first pack is always take the best card. You don't want to pigeonhole yourself into a shard too early, and you want to see which shards are giving you the best cards so that you can make a stand on those shards in pack 2 and 3. In theory, this is pretty simple. You just decide which you think is the best card in the pack and then add that card to your pool. If you're just starting out, however, this may be a little bit of a challenge. There are a lot of different cards to look at in the given time. Practice makes perfect though, so a few runs and you should find your legs. Luckily, there is a basic card evaluation system that can help while you're still learning and building your card knowledge. This system is known as B.R.E.A.D. B.R.E.A.D is an acronym where the B stands for bombs, the R for removal, the E for evasion or efficient, the A for aggro or abilities, and the D for do not play. The order of the letters in the word is the same order of pick priority, with B being the highest priority and D being the lowest. So let's talk about each of those letters. A bomb is a card that can change the course of a game, a powerful troop, action, or constant that will seriously alter the tide of battle if it's not answered. These cards have incredibly good stats for their cost or hold very, very powerful effects. A removal card is one with the ability to remove another card from play. These cards are very important as they allow you to deal with your opponent's bombs or any other card that might be causing you a problem. They can be single target, multiple target, or even hit everything in play. Though, some might say that cards like this could be considered bombs in their own right. Whichever flavor of removal you have though, most of them are pretty high priority and are a key part to any draft deck. An evasion troop is something that is difficult for your opponent to block. The most common way to win a game is to reduce your opponent's health to 0, so cards that can attack your opponent easily without being stopped are very powerful and apply pressure that needs to be dealt with quickly. Troops that are unblockable, have restrictions to which cards can actually block them, or have flight, all fall into this category. The value of these troops is generally higher than others. An efficient card is a card that has good stats for its cost, has a powerful effect, or both. They may not be as game-changing as bombs are, but they can seriously improve the state of your deck. Aggro cards are ones that can come out early and apply pressure that aims to put your opponent on the back foot. Having your opponent answer your threats instead of playing his own is a great way to start a game. And making your opponent use their valuable removal on these cards before you play your bombs or evasion cards is a great way to make sure they're going to stick around. The A in B.R.E.A.D also stands for abilities. These cards are ones that don't quite make the efficient category. Maybe they have pretty weak stats or their effects aren't quite as powerful, but having a few of these in your deck as filler cards is no problem at all. And finally, the do not play cards. These cards are clearly less powerful than the rest. Terrible cost to stat ratios, maybe their effects are weak, have too high cost, or have synergy that is just too specific to run most of the time. Either way, it's generally a good idea to keep away from them unless you have a good reason not to. When you pick cards from a pack, keep this order in mind. Some are obvious, some are not, and if you have trouble deciding between cards, here are a few other things you can factor in to help you make your choice. What does the card cost? If you like cards equally but are having a tough time deciding between, you should usually just take the card that has the lower cost. What shard is the card in? If you're having trouble, take into account the shards of the cards you have already picked. Trying to match shards you've picked from already is usually a good idea here. And what type of card is it? If you're low on troops, you might want to pick up a few more. If you're low on actions, obviously the reverse applies. Once you've picked your cards in pack 1, you should be able to look at them and decide the following things. What shards you have the most powerful cards in, and by extension, what shard you'll be looking for in packs 2 and 3. Also, what types of cards you'll be looking for in the next pack. You may need to start focusing on troops if you're running low, or maybe you need some removal and some utility actions. And take note of what your weakest shards are too. These shards are likely being taken from more by the other players in the draft, so it's likely you'll face fierce competition if you try to pick from these in later packs. And let me just state, these rules are not set in stone. Archetypes can break these rules, and generally this video is meant to be a jumping off point for those of you who aren't too experienced with the draft format. That's all for this week, guys. Let me know if this helped or if you have any topics you'd like me to cover in the future by dropping me a comment on the HEX forums or the comments below the YouTube video. Check the link on the left of the screen right now to watch my last video, and the link on the right to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Also, if you feel like hanging out, I'll be streaming almost every day on Twitch. The link is below the video. Thanks for watching, guys. Good luck, and I'll see you next time.